everyone, and welcome to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. I'm your host, Simona Spark, and our mission is to build a future where no one needs to come out anymore. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the right to love, to succeed, to have a family, and to live a full, happy life. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are back with Scarlet. Welcome, Scarlet.
Hey, thank you so much for having me again. I truly appreciate it.
It is my pleasure, and I cannot wait to learn more about you and your project. As we discussed in the last season, you are about to launch a new album. So would you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. My debut album is set to launch on July 16th. It's titled Degenerate Volume 1, and currently the single for it out is titled Black Sheep and is available on YouTube. It'll be available on all platforms for purchase and soon to follow in physical copies.
I love that. What is the YouTube channel? Or do we just type in the name of the song?
Just type in the name of the song right now.
Okay, easy. Now, before we dive deeper into your artistic world, I just want to ask you, after you were on our podcast and share your story, did you get any feedback from your friends or family?
I had a lot of interesting responses. A few people that I had kind of lost touch with over time saw that I had been a part of it, and they clicked on it and they didn't realize how much had happened in my life. And I think that it brought a lot of clarity to certain situations, and it also helped people to see the transgender topic more than just a physical topic. It's a very emotional and spiritual journey, and I think that that's a part of the transition that isn't really talked about enough, because that's the most important part.
Yes. Thank you for speaking to that. People will see only they could see from outside, the pre-makeup, the wigs, the dresses, but the real work and the real transformation is happening inside, dealing with all the emotions and all that. So what about your family? Did our interview shift anything in the dynamic of your relationship with your family?
Honestly, I haven't filled them in that there will be another one coming, but I told them that I'm going to start to share my story. I don't know if they listened, but it's interesting because I do start to see that there is a bit more tiptoeing around the subject now of gender roles and pronouns, which is great, especially now since I started my HRT, since I talked to you last. And I think that's something else I definitely want to bring up.
Absolutely. Great. Oh, I'm so happy that we bring a new awareness. So tell us more about your HR experience.
It's an experience that I can't really describe, that it's taken away a lot of my anxiety, and I feel as if it's easier for me to compose myself, where before it was just nonstop roller coaster of emotions and overthinking and a lot of doubt. But now since I started my journey with the estrogen and whatnot, I can feel my spirit uplifting a lot, and I'm not as concerned about my physical appearance, as funny as it is. And I've had a few people also say that my skin is really glowing, and I just seem to be a lot more in the moment. So I know that this was a great move for me, and I'm excited to see where I am now in 3 months, because I'm almost at my 1 month mark.
Yes, I'm excited for you, Scarlet. And I really appreciate mentioning the emotional roller coaster, because there is a lot of people out there that are in a similar situation, and we just want to let them know that what they experience is normal.
Right. I was going to say, I think that's one of the telltale signs that, this is something that needs to be addressed.
Yes, because our body will always tell us when something's off.
Definitely. I think all of us have an instinctual part of ourselves, and once we pull away a lot of the layers of the fluff, we start to pick up on everything so much more, that's when you really start to build that relationship with yourself, and that's when you feel and look your best.
Yes.
Regardless of situations and lifestyle choices. Because I've met some people where they may have been, maybe not physically been in their best, but I could tell that they were happy. And I think that says a lot about somebody when they know that they're going through a hard time and they still somehow find the hope and the joy in that day, because it's just so easy to look at the worst part of life when that's kind of the first thing you see. but then just to be able to see past that when that's the first thing you see, it's kind of like a superpower. And I just think it's so admirable for people to be able to take it all like a chip of the shoulder and just be like, hey, listen, you know what? I'm not in the best place I could be right now, but I'm going to make the best of what I got.
You are amazing. It's just as simple as that.
I appreciate it.
Yes. So tell me, Scarlett, now that you are in this new journey of taking the hormones, who's there for you? How is your support system looks like?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I've been really open about my transition. Like even at my job, I told, all my friends, because this is something I planned for in the long run and I wanted it to fall into place the right way. So like I started HRT on my actual birthday. So it would be my birthday. I did that on purpose.
Of course you did. It's intentional.
I had to.
Yes.
So cool because I just knew it was the right time to wait. You know what I mean? Because then I can look back and be like, okay, like I was born on June 6th, but I also started HRT on June 6th. So it's now even more special to me. And plus I got to be with my friends somewhere out of state. Some of them, I don't get to see too much. So them getting to be there when I started HRT was really cool.
I absolutely love it. To make it such a celebratory moment and giving yourself the gift on your birthday, the gift of becoming this new person. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool feeling. It's literally like taking 30 pounds off your shoulders. It really is. And it's something where there is no doubt anymore. And I'm just ready for going into life as, the woman I'm meant to be and to be open about it. Because I think that being very defensive and closed off is just going to give us more regression when we need progression right now.
Yes.
Especially with it being a topic on hand. I think it's great that everything's moving in a positive direction and that people aren't looking at it as a joke anymore.
Right.
It's a serious thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is serious. And you know what? It's taking people like you to show up here. And I know it takes a lot of courage to show up and share your story and share such a personal part of your being. And don't let that be about you and just let it be about helping others. And for that, I just have a really deep appreciation and respect for you and for everyone that is showing up here as my guest.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And something else I really want to say is through this journey, you really have to find those rays of light in the darkness, because going through this journey, you have so much questions that you can't have answered. And you have yourself kind of, in a way, you're stuck in a fog or in the dark, and you're just trying to find clarity in all of this. And I say, as long as you keep taking the steps forward in the darkness, you'll find more of those rays of hope and light. But you still have to keep walking through the darkness. And that's a big concept of my album. And that's why I wanted it to be very raw. That's why I wanted it to be very angry and sad, because that was the feelings that I had. That was the feelings that were real. Those were the things that people don't want to talk about, especially in our community. Our community, I love our community, but, there's more to it than just hooking up. There's more to it than just drag shows. There's more to it than just all of that stuff that is stereotypical. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to touch on the depression. I wanted to talk about coming out as transgender. I wanted to talk about being, alienated even in the LGBTQ community. Yes. And I think that this representation isn't shown much, and it may not be for mainstream people, but I think as a first representation, it's a good way to have people think about things differently.
Yes. What a beautiful work. And thank you for doing that. Like using your skills as an artist and singer and writer and all that, and actually take all that personal emotion with a lot of courage, again, and express them from the place of, as art. And again, is with the intention of taking a stand for those that they can for themselves. Because you're not the only one that is going through that experience.
Especially in the marginalized community, there's a lot of people that they don't have a say. And especially for trans and being alternative, it's a double standard. And I want people to know you can have an education. You can be alternative. You can be LGBTQ. You can be whatever you want and still be smart. You can still be a good person. You don't have to be strung out on drugs like all these stereotypes are of our communities. And I think that, taking responsibility for that, has made me a better person. That's what I want to see. I want to see more of this. I want to see people standing out and saying, listen, I may be really strange. I may be, really out there, but you know what? I know deep down that my intentions are for the better, and that, through the acts of this, it could change the perception of everything.
Yes. I love that you express what you're going through in your music. It's like if we don't know Scarlet in person and we just follow her music and her lyrics, we know exactly what she's going through.
Yeah, this was a topic I just had a few months ago. There was an evaluation I had with one of my best friends who's also one of my business partners, and they had brought up a really good statement to me. The way I would present myself as an artist and on stage was very misleading to what I'm trying to say. And it was something that could have been easily put into drag shows and all these other things that are really, flashy and they're really fun and whatever. But my music isn't right now. My music's about bringing people to a place of honesty and facing, their fears. And that sometimes is a really dark and scary place. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to strip away all of the cinematics. I'm going to take away a lot of the tongue-in-cheek costuming and let people see who Scarlet really is as a person and not the character you think I'm playing. Because even though I got my name from playing a character, that's not the person I am now. And I don't want the world to see that side of me and lose the truth behind the makeup and the hair extensions and all the stuff that, makes me who I am, but who I am deep down says more than just how I look.
Yes. What a beautiful way to express yourself from inside out and not the other way around. So as your music might not be my style, and I'm honestly recognize that.
Right.
I'm looking into seeing those lyrics because I know they are original and honest, and they are speaking about probably things that most of the people don't want to speak.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about one of my singles coming out this summer. The song is called Not For Sale. This song is about not selling yourself short, and it's not letting people get the best of you. And it's you standing grounded on your morals and letting people know, I'm worth more than just a one-night stand. I'm not just a fetish. This is my real life. And I'm going to tell you, you're not going to treat me this way. You're not going to objectify me into a society. Even if some of my sisters play that role and continue this on, I'm not going to do it. Because anytime I had given into my lustful temptations and whatever, it made me feel a certain way. And I'm not saying you have to feel bad about it. It's just I have a different perspective on everything. And I know other people do too. So I'm like, I want to put out a song that lets people know you can be empowered and let people know that, hey, I'm not going to settle for this. You know what I mean? Go find somebody else that's into this. It's just not me.
Yes. Wonderful. And speaking about your songs and your lyrics, would you tell us a little bit more about the meaning and the story behind Black Sheep song?
Sure. Okay. So Black Sheep was a concept that I had come up with, I would say about 2 years ago. I was still trying to decide where I wanted to take my project. And I was like, okay, I'm so used to the band culture and getting a bunch of strangers together with fingers crossed that, it's the right chemistry and we can make some great music, get along, and also be productive. Mm-hmm. And I decided to go with the solo because I realized I could try something new. And if it didn't work, go back to what I already know. So the idea was to write a song to let people know that in isolation is where we create either the most beautiful things or the ugliest things. When we're in the room with our own thoughts, or we're in the room with the people we love, we create things. Mm-hmm. And I want people to know that it's okay to take the time out for yourself. It's okay to not be the person that everybody understands, and that it's okay to speak up. Because even if people don't agree with you, being a black sheep isn't always a bad thing. But at the same time, we're not going to break. We're going to keep going forward. And everybody from the beginning of time that ever wanted to make a difference had to go through a lot of hell. And I think that the black sheep of the world are the ones that are usually the game changers. And game changing is what keeps the world moving. When things stay stagnant, there tends to be a lot of fallout. And I wanted this single to show, the transition from my metal career now going into my pop career. So this album is just kind of like shedding the wings of what I know, now starting to do new things because I'm already working on album 2. And album 2 is not at all like album 1, but together they create the spectrum of what I can do.
Thank you for sharing that. You were talking, and what comes through was the energy of your personal story of your transition, and it's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing with us.
I appreciate it. It's so funny because ever since I was a child, I knew that I wanted to be in the art fields. I wanted to either be a director or be a singer or an actor. And now I'm kind of doing all of it. And when I do it, I don't feel like I'm working, even though a lot of the times, I'm sending out emails or I'm working on new songs or trying to reach new producers. And it gives me something to work towards in my life. And not only does it help me provide an outlet for my transition, but it also lets me follow my passion. So yes. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how the world, reacts to it. I'm trying to get more out to the LGBTQ culture. I don't know how much they're going to love this album as much because it's heavy, it's dark. They're not going to be used to it right away. But I think if they really pull it apart, they'll see why. Mm-hmm. You can't sing about pain without sounding like you're in pain. And that's what this album is. It's going from pain and then on to my next move, because the last song on the album is called Transcend. It's about becoming the better version of yourself. It's about letting people know that, with empathy, we can shed all of this pain that we're going through, and that just because other people want to hold on to that doesn't mean it has to be you. You can paint outside the line, and you can spread your wings and be whoever you want, but hopefully it's to be a better person at the end.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So what is next for you?
Keep doing what I love, keep singing to become a better singer, keep writing to become a better writer, and keep living life to become, the better woman that, I'm meant to be. So
yes.
On to the future.
Yes, I love it. Just be you and do whatever you are called to be doing. And that way is not about us, it's about the impact that we could make and people that we could help.
Thank you. That's my goal. You know what I mean? Like I said, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something because I feel like not only I need to do it, but the world needs it. And with that, now being able to incorporate, the other things that I love to do, like some of my fine art things. And now with starting a music career, I'm learning more about marketing. And I have a clearer mind now so that I can kind of get myself through this without kind of breaking down.
Yes, yes. As we come to a closing, is it there anything that you might want to add?
I just want to thank you again for having me. Like I said, this is one of the first steps I've ever taken into the LGBTQ support community. And it means a lot because it's really hard to find your place here. And especially when you're really outlandish with your ideas and everything else. So a lot of people kind of take you as a joke. And I get it when you're not used to something, but it's just cool that people like yourself, want to take the time to understand. And you can have full conversations with people who live different lives and whatever, but they can come together to understand on a common ground about, moral compass and different perspectives and things like that, because that's really what matters. Mm-hmm. Despite if you like my hair color or despite what size clothes we wear or what music we listen to, if we can't treat each other well, if we can't understand that, we all have needs and wants and live our lives differently, we're never going to all be able to come together. It's just going to be nothing but people fighting and arguing and trying to be better. And I don't care about any of that. I just don't. Yeah. It's cool to have people who get it, like you and a lot of the great people in my life right now. Good. So thank you all. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, Mother Nature, whatever it is. It's been kind to me. So let's try to make our lives easier and just be open about all these different topics and perspectives, and we'll see what happens. This could change the world.
Yes, it's how we change the world. Thank you so much, Scarlet, for being here today and for your sharing. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. We invite you to share your story, knowing that your story could change someone's life. Feel free to spread the love by sharing our message with others. We always like to hear from you at spark@redefinefamily.com. Always remember that you are the spark in your life. Just shine bright.